Beast Gohan and the Gamma's banners are almost here, but should you summon? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, we are taking a look at the Beast Gohan and the Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 banners that are coming to Global Dokkan for the 9th year anniversary here in just a couple of days. And we'll be answering that age-old question: should you summon? Now, of course, most of you guys have been probably saving all year since February for a banner like Beast Gohan's here, because as we all know, he is quite good. But, you know, there might be some special considerations on whether or not you should summon. So as always, we're going to go over those considerations by taking a look at the unit, right? Number one, taking a look at the banner, determining whether the unit is good enough to justify a summons, taking a look at the banner to see if there's any value within that banner for summoning, and then finally a look at what lies ahead. If any stones or tickets are spent on this banner, what might you be given up here in the near future? So, first things first, let's talk about the two units. Let's start with Beast Gohan. Beast Gohan leads superheroes, Bond of Master and Disciple, Miraculous Awakening for Key 3, HP Attack and Defense 170, an additional 30% for characters who are also on Untrusted Will or movie heroes. He greatly raises attack and defense for the turn on his 12 key, and on his 18 key, he is greatly stacking attack and raises defense for 4 turns, while causing mega colossal damage. He does have an ultra super or unit super attack rather that greatly raises his attack, raises defense for 4 turn, causes mega colossal damage, but gives allies crit chance for the turn, as well as has an action cancel. So very, very helpful. You really do want to try to have a Piccolo, and of course, you know, Orange Piccolo being that unit for him. So very, very nice. Now, his passive activates an entrance animation once only, gets key 8, chance of performing a critical hit 40%, reduces damage received by 40% for 5 turns from the entry turn. He gets key 3 and attack and defense 250% and guards all attacks. And he has an additional attack 50% when attacking. He has a chance of performing a critical hit 20% when key is 24. He has an additional defense 80% and reduces damage received by 20% if key is 24 when receiving an attack. He gets key 1 per key sphere obtained and launches an additional super attack that and all allies, self-excluded, get key 3 within the same turn after receiving an attack. He also gets key 1 up to 5, and within the same turn, he gets attack and chance of performing a critical hit 20% with each attack received. He has an additional chance of performing a critical hit and an additional damage reduction, and allies key 2 starting from the turn in which he performs the 5th attack or receives the 8th attack in battle. He does have an active skill that gives key 24 158% and is a target skill, which means he will intercept all enemies' attack and perform a critical hit for the turn. He has, and it can simply be activated on his next attacking turn. So this dude is crazy, right? If we were to look at this unit alone, yes, 100% on his banner, he is justifiable a summon. But now the question is, what about his counterpart, the Gamma 1 and the Gamma 2? Well, let's look at what they're doing. They are a Carnival LR, and they give superheroes category key 3, HP attack and defense 200%. Their ultra super attack greatly raises attack and defense for the turn, and their super attack raises attack and defense for the turn. So they do have, you know, no extra passive effects other than those stat raises, or super attack effect rather. Their passive skill in base form gives key 3, attack defense 125%, and additional key 3, 125% when HP is 30% or more. They give superheroes, join forces, or defenders of justice allies key 3, attack and defense 50%, and chance to perform a critical hit 30%, and launches an additional super attack up to 2 additional super attacks in the turn per int key sphere obtained. Right, so get 2 int key spheres, and they're golden. They also have a chance of performing critical hit 12% and launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super attack with 2 or more AGL or STR key spheres obtained. maximum of 2, right? Now, he also has an additional attack and defense 50% and reduces damage received by 30% from the turn in which they perform the third attack of battle. So it's very easy to get if you get the right key spheres. Very easy to get by their first or second appearance, depending on the key spheres, right? Now, they can activate their standby, which it works just like the Fizz Trunkses, right? They increase the charge count per attack performed by your allies for 4 turns. So theirs can build a little bit longer. Now, it can be activated 70% or less, or after performing 3 or more attacks. Very, very easy, very quick to get out. Their standby mode, while in standby, they can actually still attack. They can greatly raise attack and defense for the turn, cause mega colossal damage, and have 1 turn 50% support on defense for the turn. The 12 key will raise attack and defense for the turn. Passive is key 6, attack defense 250%, and reduce damage received by 50%. They also have an additional attack and defense 50% when attacking, and they keep their 50% support for superheroes, joint forces, and defenders of justice. They have a chance to perform a critical hit 30% and launch an additional attack up to 2 additional super attacks within the turn per key sphere obtained. They have a chance of performing a critical hit 12% and launch an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super attack up to 2 additional attacks within the turn per AGL or STR. Now, once you can activate the finished skill, right, and you only need at least 1 charge to do so, you will definitely get more if you actually let them raise for a couple of turns, and it will raise their attack by 100% per charge count and cause super ultimate damage and stuns the enemy, and then exchanges with Gamma 1. Once in the Gamma 1, right, everything is still the same, except now his ultra super attack is a defensive support for 2 turns, while also maintaining the 50% support that they had before, right? He's also got key 3, attack defense 150% and reduced damage received by 15%, an additional key 3, and attack defense 150% and additional damage reduction of 50% with HP is 30% or more, plus an additional 50% when attacking. They also get an additional super attack when attacking, and changes AGL to int key spheres with a chance of performing a critical hit up to 100% and reduces damage received by 10% up to 50% per int or STR key sphere obtained. So extremely, extremely powerful once you actually do the finish skill and get him out. He becomes an insane support unit. Definitely somebody worth running to, really beef up the superheroes team. So now the question is, when you compare the two, are they good enough? I would say for both Beast Gohan and for the Gammas, that is true. They are both worth your summon. If you were to invest stones in the banners, you would come out on top if you simply walked away with one of these two. So they are both worth the investment on their banners. But of course, we know that units don't exist on the in a vacuum, so we have to look at their banners. So right now we have one in the category for both must summon due to how good the units are, but where do they stand within their banners? So Beast Gohan is a Dokkan Festival LR, which means he does have a banner unit, and these guys are also crazy 2-turn support, right? You combine their support with the Gamma support and any other support, and you're talking about a crazy turn for some of the characters, right, that you end up using. Now, his banner has the AGL Vegito Blue, the GT Duo, right, last year's 8th anniversary LRs, the LR Super Saiyans, the 7th year LRs, the Goku and Vegeta 6th year LRs who are getting an EZA, Gohan and Goten, and Fizz Piccolo. They couldn't give us Orange Piccolo on this. That would have made things too OP, I guess. But that then begs the question. Now, unlike the Part 1 banner, I do think Beast banner holds a little more value, right? One, you have the AGL Vegito Blue. I know a lot of people like to crap on him, but they are extremely good and work really well on Beast's team as long as you have one other future ally to help them get transformed. And even if you don't, right, you have Beast Gohan's target skill to protect them and the extra support provided by any other characters like the Gammas to kind of help them out. You also have the 6th year EZAs. These guys will be in an EZA at the end of the 9th anniversary, and they are easily, if Beast is number 1, On global, these guys are number 2 and number 3, right? They're just that good. So definitely, I would say for Beast, one in the category of summon for the character and one in the category of summon for the banner. Right, so what does that leave with the Gammas? What about their banner? Well, their banner brings back Kai Goku, last year's Part 2 LR. It brings back the Part 2 LR from the Worldwide Celebration. It brings back Bulma and Birdku, and then the Int Zamos and Int Goku Black, who honestly should have been on the Part 1 banners, but that's neither here nor there. So honestly, when compared to Gogeta's banner, I actually do think Gogeta's banner was better. So their banner, unfortunately for me, right, about the only, outside of the Gammas, the only other majorly useful unit is probably Bulma and Gohan, right? And even Gohan, that's really pushing it because he's not really meant for a lot of the newer content that's coming out, because he's a short event character, and you know, a lot of the stuff is longer events. He can work a little bit better in the later stages, right? The reps of Universe 7 Battle Spectacle, just because he can keep his passive up. But otherwise, right, most of these characters are not going to see the light of day once you pull them, except maybe Bulma on occasion. So now it is a carnival banner, which means you can pull any of these LRs, but I mean, I wouldn't count that as value to the banner, right, because there's no guarantee that you'll pull any of those. So unfortunately for the Gammas, they are 1 for the units and none for the banner. Their banner just doesn't hold as much value, I say, as the Part 1 banners. Now, look, that said, right, they are extremely good. I think they alone carry the banner, whereas Beast himself could carry the banner, but he does have the advantage of actually having some really, really useful units on the banners now. So, I mean, it seems like it's a, you know, unanimous, yes, these characters are worth your summon, and yes, they are. But before you do, I just want to throw something out to you, right? On JP, there's just a few banners coming here in the near future. Eventually, by the end of the year, we will get LR Jiren, right? Who is one of the best Carnival LRs, barring the Gammas and Gogeta, right? He is extremely, extremely powerful. Outside of him, of course, right, we will be getting the Tech UI Goku, which I know everybody is waiting for, right? So, and he... my theory is that he'll drop in November like he usually would. However, they weren't very clear about when this is happening. So these two could drop at any moment without a moment's notice. So just something worthy of note, that if you're diving into these banners, these are coming fairly soon. And if that wasn't enough, right, Worldwide Celebration is in just about over a month from the point of me recording this video. Last year it was Future Saga themed. We don't know what this year could be. Could be GT themed, right? So it's just worthy of note of where your stones are at, right? We also have Topo, who's probably going to drop in between Anniversary and Worldwide. And then of course we have, if I find the banner here, go here. I think we got to go one more. And then, of course, we have the Cell Max banner. Now, this is a yellow coin banner. I don't typically recommend people summoning on banners like this, but there's a high chance that this banner, right, ends up dropping sometime between Anniversary and Worldwide. And Cell Max, right, if Goku, Vegeta, right, like if Beast Gohan, Goku, Vegeta are top 1, 2, and 3. This guy is probably tied for 2 and 3 with those guys. Like, he's really, really good. Maybe it's a bit much to say tied for 2 and 3, but he's up there next to him, right? So just note, right, this doesn't mean you should detract from your summons for Beast, prioritize him, but just know that there are these things coming in the near future, and they would be useful to your account. So, guys, I would have to say, right, overall, Beast is a unanimous yes. Do everything you can to get this guy within your ken. You also have your 77 ticket multis. We will have, like we did in the Part 1 banners, right? If we flip over here real quick. If we flip over to the Part 1 banners here, let it load. Okay, so we should have the multi-summon discounts here. on the part 1 banners, just like we did before. So Beast Gohan's banner, you'll have your 20, right? You'll have your 30, 40, 50 free multi. You'll have your what is it? I think it's 35, 45, 50, and then guaranteed featured. We should have that on these banners just like we did in part 1, which means you will get a pretty decent chance of pulling Beast Gohan if you go in on his banner. So I definitely cannot not recommend summoning for him. It's just they did a really good job with setting you guys up for success. Plus, there's the 77 ticket multi. Plus, if you're a pay-to-play, low-to-play player, there are paid tickets, right? One of them will be a guaranteed featured ticket. So, I mean, there are ways to ensure victory in that standpoint. For the Gammas, they are good. I do think they carry the banner, but knowing what lies ahead, I think maybe they aren't as much of a priority, I would say, as Beast Gohan. That isn't to say that they aren't good, and if you pull Beast Gohan early, I don't see why it wouldn't be such a bad idea to go in for them. So I think it would just kind of depend on what you get. Like if you get Beast Gohan, you can save your stones and use your 77 ticket multi on these guys and walk out clean, right? Or back on Gogeta or Broly if you missed them. But definitely, I think worth worth the time and effort to focus on Beast. So guys, that is it for the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know which Part 2 character do you plan on focusing on? Are you somebody who's just been waiting all year for Beast, or are you that guy who's been waiting for the Gammas? Let us know how much you plan to do on either of the banners. Let us know in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.